You may be working harder than ever and still moving farther from the result you desire, because effort without clear thought can become a powerful servant pulling the wrong load. Hard work is honorable, but hard work alone is not wisdom. A man may rise early, labor late, carry many burdens, and exhaust himself with sincere intention, yet remain disappointed because he never stopped long enough to ask whether his labor was properly directed. Do not worship effort merely because it is difficult. Difficulty does not prove direction. Sweat does not prove progress. Motion does not prove achievement. There are men who work with great energy and little result because their minds have not gone before their hands. They rush into action before defining the aim. They multiply duties before examining causes. They increase effort before asking whether the method is sound. They try to overcome confusion with more movement, as though a man lost in a forest could find the road by running faster. Stop. Think. Not lazily, not fearfully, not endlessly, but clearly. Clear thought is not delay when it prevents wasted years. It is not weakness when it saves strength for the right battle. It is not lack of ambition when it asks ambition to become intelligent. The purpose of thought is not to escape work. The purpose of thought is to make work count. Napoleon Hill often taught the power of definite purpose and accurate thinking because no amount of labor can permanently overcome a false direction. If the aim is vague, work becomes scattered. If the cause is misunderstood, effort attacks symptoms. If the plan is weak, persistence may only continue error. If the desire is borrowed, achievement may bring no satisfaction. Think clearly before you work harder. Ask what you are truly trying to accomplish. Many people cannot answer this question except in general words. They want success, wealth, peace, freedom, respect, opportunity, and improvement. These are desires, but they are not yet commands. A command must be definite enough to guide the day. It must tell the mind what belongs and what does not belong. If you say, I want to succeed, the mind has no precise order. If you say, I will become valuable in this field by mastering this ability, serving this kind of need, and completing this definite plan, the mind has been given direction. Definiteness turns labor into force. Without definiteness, a man may work hard at whatever appears urgent. He may spend his best hours answering demands that have little relation to his future. He may confuse the pressure of the moment with the importance of the task. He may spend days putting out small fires while the great structure of his life remains unbuilt. Urgency is not always importance. Learn to tell the difference. Some duties shout, some duties quietly shape destiny. The shouting duty may demand immediate handling, but the quiet duty must not be permanently neglected. Study, planning, health, saving, skill, reputation, and disciplined association do not always shout. Yet these often determine whether a man rises or remains trapped. Clear thought asks, what produces the result? Not merely, what demands my attention? This question changes everything. If you want more income, do not only ask how to work longer. Ask what value your work produces. Ask whether the service is needed, whether the skill is strong, whether the field rewards that skill, whether your effort is organized, whether your reputation helps or harms the opportunity. More hours spent in low-value activity may not create wealth. They may only create fatigue. If you want respect, do not only ask how to speak louder. Ask whether your conduct deserves trust. Ask whether your word is dependable, whether your temper is controlled, whether your work is complete, whether your judgment is fair. Respect cannot be forced by noise. It is attracted by character. If you want peace, Do not only ask how to escape pressure. Ask what disorder created the pressure. Ask what promise was made too quickly, what boundary was neglected, what desire became too expensive, what decision has been postponed. Peace is often the result of corrected causes. Clear thought moves from effect to cause. The careless mind sees the visible problem and attacks it immediately. The accurate mind asks what produced it. A man with poor finances may believe the problem is only that money is insufficient. But perhaps the deeper cause is lack of specialized value, careless spending, weak planning, poor association, debt born from vanity, or a habit of delaying hard decisions. If he works harder without discovering the cause, he may earn more and remain poor. Another man may believe he has a problem with opportunity. He says, no one opens doors for him. But perhaps the real cause is that his work lacks excellence, his manner repels cooperation, his promises are uncertain, or his ability has not been made visible. If he merely complains harder, nothing changes. The truth may be uncomfortable, but it is useful. A man cannot correct what he refuses to see. Therefore, before increasing effort, examine the foundation. Ask whether your aim is clear. Ask whether your plan is sound. Ask whether the work you are doing is connected to the result you seek. Ask whether some habit is quietly undoing the labor you perform. There is no victory in carrying water into a vessel full of holes. Find the holes. Stop the waste, then increase the flow. This is clear thinking. It may feel slower at first because it asks questions before movement, but it saves time because it prevents movement that does not matter. A few hours of honest thinking may rescue months of blind labor. Do not fear thought because it exposes weakness. Fear the weakness that remains hidden. When clear thought reveals that a plan is poor, do not defend the plan merely because it is yours. Pride is a costly advisor. It causes a man to continue in error so he may avoid admitting that his judgment was incomplete. A wise man is not loyal to his first idea. He is loyal to his definite purpose. If the method fails, improve it. If the field is wrong, study another. If the service is weak, strengthen it. If the habit is destructive, correct it. If the association is harmful, withdraw wisely. If the aim itself is false, have the courage to choose a truer one. Correction is not surrender. It is intelligent persistence. There is a dangerous kind of hardness in some men. They believe that if they push longer, endure more, and refuse every adjustment, they are showing strength. Sometimes they are only showing attachment to error. A man who rows fiercely in the wrong direction does not become successful because his arms are strong. He must turn the boat. Then his strength matters. Think before you strain. Thought should guide effort the way a rudder guides a ship. Without the rudder, more sail may only drive the vessel toward rocks. With the rudder, even a hard wind can be used. Your mind must become the rudder. Do not allow emotion to take command. Fear may tell you to work harder because you are terrified of falling behind. Envy may tell you to work harder because another man has advanced. Anger may tell you to work harder because you want to prove someone wrong. Shame may tell you to work harder because you feel unworthy at rest. These emotions can create energy, but they do not guarantee wisdom. Work born from fear often becomes frantic. Work born from envy often becomes imitation. Work born from anger often becomes wasteful. Work born from shame often becomes punishment. Work born from clear purpose becomes power. Examine your motive. Why are you working harder? Are you building something definite or escaping the discomfort of stillness? Are you improving value or trying to silence inner accusation? Are you serving a chosen aim or competing with appearances? The same labor can produce different results depending upon the motive behind it. A man who works to serve becomes attentive to value. A man who works to impress becomes attentive to appearance. A man who works from fear becomes attentive to danger. A man who works from purpose becomes attentive to progress. Choose purpose. Purpose gives labor dignity. It tells you when to begin, where to concentrate, what to refuse, whom to associate with, and when to rest. Yes, even rest must be governed by clear thought. The body and mind are instruments. If you abuse them in the name of ambition, they will eventually fail to serve ambition. Hard work does not require self-destruction. It requires intelligent expenditure of strength. There is a time to labor intensely. There is also a time to study, plan, recover, and sharpen the tool. A dull axe swung harder may tire the woodsman more than it cuts the tree. The wise man pauses long enough to sharpen the edge. Thinking is the sharpening. Planning is the sharpening. Learning is the sharpening. Measuring results is the sharpening. Correcting errors is the sharpening. Do not be ashamed to sharpen. Some men call reflection idleness because they do not know how to think productively. Their minds, when still, drift into worry. Productive thought is different. It is deliberate. It asks definite questions and seeks useful answers. What result do I seek? What cause produces that result? What action strengthens the cause? What habit weakens it? What must be learned? What must be stopped? What must be measured? What must be done today? These questions are not dreams. They are tools. Use them. Write the answers if necessary. A problem left only in the mind may appear larger and more confused than it truly is. Written plainly, it begins to reveal shape. You can see what is fact and what is feeling. You can see what is known and what is assumed. You can see what can be acted upon now. Clarity loves paper. Confusion loves fog. Bring the problem out of fog. Once the facts are visible, decide. Do not let thinking become another hiding place. Some men avoid work through action that is scattered. Others avoid work through analysis that never ends. Clear thought must lead to definite action, or it becomes a refined form of delay. The order is this: think clearly, decide firmly, act steadily, measure honestly, correct quickly, continue. Miss one step and the plan weakens. If you act without thinking, you waste strength. If you think without deciding, you waste time. If you decide without acting, you waste will. If you act without measuring, you repeat error. If you measure without correcting, you collect facts without wisdom. If you correct without continuing, you never allow improvement to compound. The whole chain is needed. Start with thought, then move. The man who thinks clearly before working harder may discover that he does not need more labor in every direction. He may need less labor in the wrong direction and more in the right one. He may need to stop doing 10 small things so one important thing can receive full force. He may need to abandon a habit that has been stealing the fruits of his work. He may need to improve the quality of service rather than merely increase the quantity of effort. This discovery can feel severe because it removes excuses. It is easier to say, "I am doing all I can," than to admit, "I have not been doing the right things." But the second statement contains more hope. If the problem is direction, direction can be changed. If the problem is method, method can be improved. If the problem is habit, habit can be retrained. Hope begins where command returns, and clear thought returns command. Do not fear the truth that your labor has been poorly organized. Fear only the refusal to reorganize it. A year can be redeemed by one honest decision followed by disciplined action. A condition can change when the mind stops defending confusion and begins governing effort. So before you ask life for more strength, ask whether the strength already given is being used wisely. Before you demand more opportunity, ask whether the opportunities already near you have been recognized. Before you add more hours, ask whether the present hours are serving a definite purpose. Think clearly. Then work harder where harder work will matter. This is the beginning of intelligent achievement. But once a man has seen that effort must be governed by thought, he must next examine the hidden causes that make him choose wrong work in the first place. Fear of the important task, attraction to easy motion, loyalty to old habits, and the dangerous comfort of being busy without being effective has ruined more plans than idleness. Idleness is easily condemned. A man knows when he has done nothing, but busyness can deceive him because it gives fatigue the appearance of progress. He feels tired, therefore he believes he has been faithful. He has moved all day, therefore he believes he has advanced. He has carried burdens, answered demands, and performed many acts. Therefore he assumes the day has served his purpose. But fatigue is not evidence of wisdom. A mule may carry a heavy load in a circle and return at evening to the place where it began. The load was real. The effort was real. The weariness was real. Only the progress was missing. You must examine whether your work is moving in a straight line toward a definite result, or whether it is merely circling familiar ground. This requires honesty because ineffective busyness often protects a man from the important task. The important task may be uncertain, difficult, and capable of exposing weakness. It may require a decision. It may require study. It may require courage. It may require speaking to someone whose answer may not please you. It may require completing a piece of work that can finally be judged. So the mind escapes into lesser duties. It arranges what does not need arranging. It repeats what is already sufficient. It studies what does not need immediate study. It attends to small concerns while the central matter waits untouched. At the end of the day, the man can say he worked hard, and this statement protects him from admitting that he avoided the work that mattered most. Do not let lesser work become a hiding place. There is always something easier than the essential duty. There is always a task that feels useful but carries little consequence. There is always an errand, a correction, an improvement, or an obligation that can be placed before the difficult action. Clear thought asks, what am I avoiding by doing this? That question may reveal more than a whole season of labor. Perhaps you are avoiding the study that would expose how much you do not know. Perhaps you are avoiding the offer that might be rejected. Perhaps you are avoiding the accounting that would reveal disorder. Perhaps you are avoiding the decision that would end a comfortable uncertainty. Perhaps you are avoiding the discipline of one definite purpose because scattered work allows you to feel important without being tested. Avoidance often wears the clothing of responsibility. Remove the disguise. A man must learn to identify the work that has leverage. Leverage means that one action, one decision, one correction, or one improvement can change many results at once. The ordinary mind treats all duties as equal. The clear mind searches for the cause that governs many effects. If finances are weak, the leverage point may not be longer hours alone. It may be a higher value skill, a clearer offer, stricter control of spending, or a better field of service. If opportunities are scarce, the leverage point may not be complaint. It may be reputation, association, specialization, or the courage to make ability visible. If peace is missing, the leverage point may not be escape. It may be boundaries, honesty, completed obligations, or disciplined desire. The important question is not What can I do? The important question is, what should I do first because it will make the greatest difference? This is the beginning of intelligent labor. Before working harder, arrange work by importance. Place duties into order. Some must be done because they are necessary. Some must be done because they prevent loss. Some must be done because they create future gain. Some must be dismissed because they exist only through habit, vanity, or fear. A man cannot command his life while every task has equal authority. Rank them. The highest duty is not always the most pleasant. Often it is the duty that creates the most resistance. Resistance is not always proof that the work is wrong. It may be proof that the work is important enough to awaken fear. Fear prefers small work. Fear likes duties that keep a man occupied without requiring courage. It likes preparation that never becomes presentation. It likes private planning that never meets public judgment. It likes effort that cannot fail because it cannot be measured. Clear thought exposes this arrangement. It says this work feels safe because it is small. That work feels heavy because it can change my condition. Go toward the work that can change your condition. Do not do so recklessly. Prepare, but do not hide behind preparation. Study, but do not let study become a shelter. Think, but do not let thought become an endless room with no door leading to action. The purpose of thought is decision. Once enough facts are gathered for the next step, take the step. A man who demands certainty before acting may spend his life polishing uncertainty. The world does not give complete assurance before any worthy action. It gives enough light for the next movement. Then more light after movement begins. Move under intelligent light. Another hidden cause of ineffective labor is loyalty to old habits. A man may know a method is weak, yet continue because it is familiar. Familiar failure can feel safer than unfamiliar improvement. He knows the discomfort of the old road, but the new road contains unknown demands. So he works harder in the old manner. He sharpens the same dull tool. He increases the same poor method. He repeats the same conversation, the same promise, the same routine, the same hope, and wonders why the result resembles the past. If you want a different harvest, you must examine the seed. Do not merely increase planting. Ask what your habits are producing. Every habit is a small machine. It takes time, thought, emotion, and energy, then produces a result. Some habits produce order. Some produce confusion. Some produce strength. Some produce fatigue. Some produce confidence. Some produce debt. Study the machines operating in your life. Do not ask whether a habit is comfortable. Ask what it creates. The habit of rising without a plan creates scattered mornings. The habit of spending without record creates financial fog. The habit of speaking before thinking creates conflict. The habit of postponing difficult work creates constant pressure. The habit of accepting every request creates resentment and weakness of purpose. These habits may feel ordinary, but their results are not accidental. They are the harvest. Clear thought before hard work means you examine the habits that carry your labor. Otherwise, you may work with strength while your habits quietly undo the work behind you. This is like building a wall by day and removing stones by night. Find the night work. What are you doing after effort that cancels effort? Are you earning and wasting? Studying and never applying? Planning and never completing? Serving others while neglecting the central duty? Seeking opportunity while damaging trust through inconsistency? The answer may be uncomfortable. Accept it. Discomfort joined to truth is useful. Comfort joined to deception is expensive. Once the harmful habit is found, do not attempt to destroy it by wish alone. Replace it with a definite practice. If the habit is delay, create an hour of immediate action. If the habit is disorder, create a daily review. If the habit is careless spending, create written accounts. If the habit is emotional speech, create the discipline of pause before response. A habit leaves only when a stronger command enters. Do not rely upon mood. Create structure. Structure saves willpower by appointing conduct before emotion argues. The man who waits to feel discipline must fight the same battle daily. The man who has structure reduces the number of battles. The hour has been chosen. The duty has been named. The standard has been set. The record will be examined. This is not bondage. It is freedom from repeated confusion. Many men dislike structure because they mistake it for limitation. But limitation in the right place creates power. A river becomes forceful because banks confine it. Steam becomes power because it is contained and directed. Human effort becomes achievement when purpose gives it boundary. Clear thought builds the banks. Hard work then becomes the river. Another cause of wasted labor is the desire to please everyone. A man may